Today's a Grail, people, and I'm not even close to kidding. Mondo Teela time. So we've discussed this on the channel a couple of times. I missed my opportunity at Mondo Teela. I thought she was one of the most amazing figures I had literally ever laid eyes on. I mean, I was impressed. I seen her in terms of the promo pictures, and we even did an episode here where we talked about all the promo pictures. I was shocked at how good it was. And I said back then, I probably have no choice but to pass on it. It's expensive. Mondo figures, 1/6 scale, are expensive. So I passed on it. It came back up. I found it. Like, I went to a convention and it was there and I seen it in person. They wanted $247 for it. I stared at it. I wanted it. I skipped it. I said, I'm only here with $300 for the entirety of the con. I can't spend it there. I can't just drop all of it on one thing and walk away. I gotta make the money last. I gotta bring loot home, right? Sometimes it's cool to walk in and buy that one item you want. But when you're like me, there is a pretty hard budget at these conventions. I've had times when I've got $600 and I find nothing that I want. Then I've had times when I only walk in there with like $200 and I find 1,000 things I wish I could get. Maybe that says something about wanting what you can't have. I don't know. But it's just the way that it rolls sometimes. Sometimes I got good money, sometimes I don't. And we've talked about this here a million times already. $20 spent here is $20 you can't spend there. Then I saw they were doing Teela. And we already did a video talking about Grails and toy hopes. That was a pretty big video. In terms of a lot of what we discussed, not so much that it did very well in terms of views, but that video talked about a lot of stuff. And I'll have it in the annotations if you care one way or another. It talks about Grails and things I wish they would do. And I covered every single toy line that I collect. Like that video goes from spot to spot to spot saying, this is something I collect, it's a big deal, it's at the top of my totem pole, this is something I wish they would do with it, or this is the one item I wish I could get. She is an absolute grail. A grail piece. Teela is my favorite character in all of Motu. Also another video. I am really not trying to do a bunch of video plugs here, but it just so happens that the way I'm talking, it keeps coming up. And that was one that we definitely talked about. I did a favorite characters of Motu early on when I was first getting into the line, and my opinion has not changed on this character. Teela is my favorite character in all of Masters of the Universe. I absolutely love Teela. So when a 1/6 scale Teela is announced from Mondo, I finally decided I don't collect 1/6. But damn it, I'm not going to miss this one. So, I bit the bullet. I paid the money. I got a 1/6 scale Teela. And as far as I could tell at first glance, it is astonishing. But there's only one way we're going to know for sure. Is this everything I hope it to be? Man, I hope so. This is an on-the-desk figure. This is a figure that automatically has a spot on my desk. It's going to be straight, right there, right in the open, right up front. I will see it every single day, every time I edit, every time I pick something up, every time I get a new figure, every time I do the Friday night hangouts. She will be a front and center piece. But she's got to earn that spot. I have no reason to believe she won't. That's enough out of me. Let's check this out. So I'd like to start here on the box. It is a fantastic piece of art. I'm not sure who did said artwork. If you know, that would be fantastic to let me know, because I will try to follow them on Instagram or something like that. But this is really nice. This gives me a Red Sonja feeling. I like the bicep and muscle design. That I prefer that. I think that she is a warrior. She should be built. I like the animal in the back. I like all the little, the nuance of it. I like the tree and everything. This is well thought out. It's very, very nice. Nice artwork. Otherwise, the box is pretty basic, if I'm being completely honest. There's some Grayskull back here. This might be Snake Mountain. I don't know. And then if we turn it this way, I think that was Grayskull, because this is the mouth right here. And then we have all this, of course, some words here to really get you into the idea of the character, like Teela, warrior goddess, the noble captain of the Royal Palace Guard. Yeah, I know. Like, I would be surprised if you were buying into a 1/6 scale Teela at nearly $300. And I get it. I get it. This is all part of the presentation. But, like, yeah. Right here. This is not a toy. It is a collector's model, and there's a reason they're putting that on here. Not just because of the price, and not to make you feel like you didn't buy a toy, because let's be honest, we bought a giant doll. But the reason that's there is because this thing is not meant to be like used like an action figure. This is not something that you do with this piece, and if you do that, it is going to damage, and you will be the only one to blame for that situation. There's the actual figure right there, in terms of, you know, a picture of the figure, what you kind of expect, and that is her right there. You're kind of seeing me a little bit in this image. Sorry about that, but I don't have any way to really deal with the fact that you're going to see some glare. But there she is. I want to say something. The box is basic to the point of almost being boring. That's just me, but that's my opinion. We have a really nice piece of art right here. We have a decent picture on the inside. We have a window in case you're an inbox collector that just wants to see it. And for what it's worth, the rest of the box is very simple. That's cool. It's all red. It's Castle Grayskull. We do like it. It's not that anything necessarily is bad here on this piece, but the box is rather basic. This, however, is fantastic for me. See, I don't want this Teela to be in a box. I have zero interest in that idea, and I'm not going to keep this box. Once I open it, that's that. Teela time. I am an opener on this channel, through and through. It is very rare that I keep boxes. It is very rare that I give a crap about resale value. I didn't buy any of this as an investment. I bought it because it brings me happiness. And it's literally that simple. It all means something to me. It's a personal museum set of stuff that means something to me. Every item on that shelf has a story, no matter how minor. And if it doesn't pertain to me or my memories or my nostalgia or my likes or my wants or my interests, it's gotta go. So in a way, they've done me a major, major favor here. The box is cool enough to get my attention, but not cool enough for me to care one way or another about what happens to the box. In a way, that's perfect for me. Let's open her. So here it is. I don't want anything to be missed. I want to kind of experience this. And just like all my other unboxes, I want my very first, feelings and opinions caught on camera. So let's lift the top. I've cut all the tape and everything. There's nothing there. And let's start the unboxing process. I have a shield. It is a fantastically designed buckler. That is really nice, actually. I'm very impressed. It does look very, very good. There's a lot of intricate detail here. I like the paint. I like the gold and everything like that. That is done very well. The only thing I could argue is that this would be cool if it kind of had like a leathery look to it. But in here, this is cool. It almost has like a leathery strap, which I actually like quite a bit. And then the handle and everything. It's well done. It even has the bolting to the shield. Those are some pretty solid details for something that on most figures wouldn't really matter, right? Okay, let me fix the lighting real quick. There, I kind of opened the shades on the window and pointed the light directly down to see if we can get guaranteed as perfect lighting as I can get right now. She does come with 2 open posing hands. These I call like expression hands. And for what it's worth, it's pretty impressive. Like, it is just a hand, but it does have enough, detail that it's pretty cool. It does look really good. The only thing I would say is that I kind of wish, and maybe this wouldn't be true to character, I would have to check, should she have a type of nail polish? You imagine that I would know that. Let me answer that question right now. I'm going to look the picture up and see if Teela is on the regular wearing nail polish in the original series. So after a quick check, no, the original Teela in the series, I looked at about 20-something screenshots, as many close-ups as I could possibly get, and I've come to the decision that even in Leisure, she does not wear any kind of nail polish. And I was debating that. I was pretty sure she didn't. But then I was thinking for a second, what if it's like a light pink and I've just never paid enough attention and I'm going to say something? But no, she does not wear nail polish. It is not an issue because first and foremost, I would argue Teela is a warrior first. And that's more than fine. That makes perfect sense. Teela does not, and I put the screenshot up right now. There it is. That's her in Leisure with Adam. No nail polish. Teela does not wear nail polish in the original series. And I was pretty sure of that, but I didn't want to be wrong, so I didn't want to say it on this review specifically. There we go. Look at this. That is fantastic. I love that. The eagle here. Let me fix this. I don't know why I'm getting so much trouble here. Let me back off a little bit. That is astonishing detail. Dang, I don't know why. It will not focus. It's because of this. Let me move this. And I will just, you won't miss out on anything, but it wants to focus on that instead of this. And I want to show you the details here. Look at that bird. Is that not sick? Like it's done so well too. The actual color grading and everything of it. That is shockingly well done. And also all this work here is very well done. This isn't actual fur, but it's painted in a way that would give the illusion easily. Metal hooks and everything like that. The belt is really solid. I like it. And the bird thing really plays off well for me. I really like that aesthetic. And the sword is the sword. The sword is a bird. That is a level of detail you do not get on smaller figures. That is cool. So it's like a falcon, I imagine, right? And then we'll pull the sword. Oh, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Look at that. That is an absolute thing of beauty right there. Very, 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 very well done. Another weapon that she will come with is this. We have a spear. It's a spear. It's a battle lance of sorts. It's really, really cool. Once again, we have a type of... that's not birds. Never mind. I was going to say we have a type of bird motif, but that's not what's going on here. But this is very well done. And is that like a ram horn down here? You know what it might be? That's a snake tail. That's a snake tail at the bottom. That's actually really cool, which plays off to the two motifs that kind of play into the original Teela figure. She is very much tied into bird and tied into the other motif as well. The snake plays in very well to her. I got one of her heads right here. Let me unbag this and bring it out. There she is. The Teela scowl face, the battle face. That is tremendous. Like, it is so very, very, very well done. The detail is immense. The hair has different highlights of kind of browns mixed in with the red that work really, really well. And this, I thought, would be just gold, but it's not. They went out of their way. Each one of the spikes is a silver color, and then the red up here, the eyebrows are real sharp. They come up and they have a sharp curve down, which is absolutely perfect for Teela. That is a perfect Teela face. That is a perfect warrior woman, angry scowl Teela face. And now she's right here. I'm going to put her to the side because I want to look at everything that she came with before we make any kind of decisions about anything. The snake staff, which is an absolute must for Teela, right? We have to have the snake scepter, the snake staff. It's really good. I like that tiny dot green eye. The scales are done very, very well. I like how it goes into the staff. This is shockingly good. Let me see if I can get this to focus in, but the pattern here, that is really, really solid. Very, very impressive. The gold and that skin tone thing right here actually goes all the way down the staff and kind of goes out to a lighter color as it goes down into the tail. It's very impressive. I like it quite a bit. The last two items here, aside from she does come with a stand, which is very much just a basic floor. She comes with this part of said stand. So you'll be able to hook that in there like that, of course. And of course, this to hold her waist and everything like that. Very good. Very solid. I'm sure that it works perfect. I'm not overly worried about the stand. Now, one thing that Mondo does very well, as far as the attention that I've been paying, we have a younger 2000X Teela head. I like these earrings. I didn't even notice that on the other head. Were the earrings present on the other head? They were. They're such a tiny detail that I actually missed them, but they're earrings. That's actually really, really cool. That is a stellar face. Like, it is very well done. And I like the expressive, like, bangs and everything like that. And we have the ponytail. You could argue that the ponytail, maybe you wish that it was like way longer, because on the actual Teela of 2000X, that ponytail is super, 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 super long. But you gotta kind of get the best of both worlds, and you gotta understand what they were going for here. The fact that we got this head at all and that the ponytail is long enough to give the impression of what we're looking for and kind of look like a young Teela, I'm actually very much okay with this head. I think it does exactly what they were going for, and the crown is different. In fact, now that I get to looking at it, that's a cool effect. So the crown just has the red gem on the classic Teela that we grew up with. But on this Teela, on the 2000X Teela, it's a snake. It's a snake crown. That's really cool. That is an excellent detail. I really like it. And same idea, the spikes are a different color than the rest of the crown. They didn't just recycle and just kind of put it out and kind of cheap out on that. And the face is kind of just like, there is a difference. Like for whichever one of the Teelas you're going with here, there is a legit difference between the Teelas from each one of the shows, and they're done very well. So I'm actually very impressed with that, because you'll be able to kind of set up the Teela that you want. Next is the snake armor, which looks awesome. Like, there's a lot of detail here in the eye right here with the different with the different colors and everything that kind of blend into the eye, all the snake tone and everything like that that goes down. All of this is very well done. Oh, the inside, you could see that there's like the little bolts. That's cool. I like that a lot. And there's like a string thing here. So all of this has been etched and kind of tanned like a giant hide. Maybe the idea is that this, is it possible at all that there was a giant snake that was killed and then kind of, that would be cool. That would be a cool storyline that we never got to see or whatever. And with all of that, it is time. It is time. I know, drug this out as long as I could, but I did want to see every single part, and I wanted to get an idea for every part before I did this. Because she's got a bunch of stuff on her, okay? Let me cut that stuff off and we'll talk about her. Here she is, Teela. I know, she's so big that the normal camera setup that I have doesn't show her all the way off, but that's okay. We're going to go over her a little bit and kind of discuss some stuff about her in general. First off, the boots, really solid. Let me get that focused in there. I like the snake tail that wraps around each boot and the kind of symbols that are here. I like the fur. The fur is done very well. You could argue that the fur could have been better, but I'm really not crying about it. I like that it's kind of a mess. The horse hair and everything is a bit of a mess, because it would be, right? Like that's the way that this is. And if you want these actual elements like this, this is the way that it's going to be. I actually don't have a problem with this. You could argue that it should have been taken care of maybe a little bit better, but I really don't have a problem. I'm noticing that just playing the littlest bit here, some of the fur is coming off, so do be careful. Don't go crazy with it, is what I'm telling you. But the boots, I like the straps and the coloration and everything. I think that's done very, very, very well. Coming up here to the gauntlet areas, that is solid. Like, I like that quite a bit. It's decent detail. I don't know exactly if it's supposed to represent something or be something, but I like it. I like this right here. And I was just talking about how she needs to be different than, say, She-Ra, because you need her to have, like, muscle. Teela is not She-Ra. Teela has muscle. Oh my, that feels very rough. I don't want to force that right now. I'm going to probably take a dryer to her, hair dryer, see if I can kind of loosen that up. Oh, nope, there we go. I got it. It's, do be careful. Don't just kind of force, you know, she costs real money is what I'm saying. But look at that. That bicep kind of curves out here and everything. That's important. I think that Teela needs to be strong. She is a warrior woman. I think that that works. I think that it looks right. It's really, really good. I like the belt. The hip belt is really solid. Going around here. And the legs. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like they went crazy on the skin tone. But it works, and she's pale. This is a mild complaint that I've had with a couple of other Teela figures. Sometimes they do Teela, and they darken her skin. And I do actually have a problem with that because Teela is a natural redhead. She has pale skin. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what she is. That's how she should look. I'm a little bit of a stickler for that. She should be pale. That's the way I prefer her to be in general. I like this. This is cool. The battle skirt here, the protector skirt piece is really cool. It does have a lot of give, so you're not worried about that. The two belt pieces that come down, I think these are still snake tails that go around the cups. I'm trying to be delicate here, but we know what these are holding in place. I do want to see. I'm positive she can T-pose, but I'm telling you, it feels very tight right now. I feel a little bit more comfortable taking a blow dryer to her for a little while and seeing if I can't kind of pop things out and get them moving and everything before I mess with her too much. I would not take the chance. This is right out of the box, and what I do here is first impressions and how an item makes me feel. And first impressions out of the box, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a character I'm going to take a hairdryer to for a little bit, see if I can't pop things out, because that feels really tight. Like, I probably shouldn't have even done all of that. But it does, as you can see, I got it to do it, and it didn't give me so much problem that, like, you know, she didn't break. Man, that would have been a heck of a story to put on film here today, as if I was like, and then she T-poses, crack. I'd be like, no, that would have absolutely killed me if I'm being honest. So it probably was not the greatest idea to do what I just did, but she survived it, so I gotta give him that. Her knees look like they got the double joint. Yeah, these feel tight. Absolutely blow dry the character a bit. Don't force anything. You definitely don't want to spend the money that you just spent and lose this for no reason. Heat it up, pop its joints loose a bit, and then go from there. But I like this collar. It comes up and everything like that. It's got, yeah, this is really solid. The hair, like I said, it's kind of crazy. It puffs out. It works really well, but that's really good fur. I like the belt here. And the brassiere, I like how this is all tied up. Is that what that is? Is it a brassiere? Corset. Corset? Is that a corset? And of course, the Teela face. The Teela face that she comes with is a very, very good one. I like it. I think it's very, very good. Looks like she can't really look up too much. She can look way down. She seems to have very good head movement. And I'm not receiving any problems in general from the neck at all. Like, I'm receiving no issues at all from the neck. I think it's very solid as far as I can tell. She does have movement up in the body. A lot of upper body movement, actually. That's really good. And especially for some of the other stuff like I showed you with the arms, we're kind of having a bit of an issue there. But I don't think anything that's going to, like, scare me. Like, because this is already moving very well. And I don't know about that. I still kind of feel funny about that. I feel like she needs heated up. But everything else about her so far is absolutely fantastic. And now we ask the question, which I've already seen it 5 or 6 times, but haha. And yes, they did not skimp on it. She has the Teela butt. The butt that landed in front of the camera 1,000,000 times during the show. There it is. She's got it, and it's absolutely fantastic. She has lower ab movement, which isn't crazy good, but it's there. All in all, she is an absolute piece. Like, she's great. I'm not 100% sure how I'd like to set her up. More than likely, I will put the sword on her. It doesn't look like this belt opens. I was wondering if maybe that was a latch. That's not a latch. It makes me feel like the way that you get that on her is to I don't know if you pop that up or whatever. I don't know that I'm completely comfortable popping anything out of socket or anything right now. There's no instructions to her or anything like that. At least not that I saw. So if that is a possibility, if that's something that you're supposed to do, I don't know. None of the pictures or anything show that. So I'm not 100% sure. I just saw this. That's pretty cool. On the bottom of her shoes, they mark Mondo and of course her 2024 Mattel logo. So that's pretty cool. But for what it's worth, I don't have any regrets with this character. I think that this is very cool. I think for my very first ever 1/6 scale figure, she's going to be an absolute standout. She is basically just going to stand on my desk and be everything that she is meant to be, but I'm 100% fine with that because that's what I got her for. That's what I want her for. I do want to get this sword on her. I'm going to kind of I'll look up online and check the pictures and everything like that. Before I make any decision to pop anything out of place or anything like that, I will check, because I'm not going to make a decision like that and then regret it later on, because boy, would I regret it later on. So to finish this, just to put it out there, this will not make me a heavy buyer in the 1/6 scale. Just to put it out there. I think she is amazing. I think the detail is utterly fantastic. I think that given time messing with her, she will loosen up. And I'll be able to get some really cool pictures and whatnot out of her. But, just to put it out there, I'm not a 1/6 scale collector. And this will not make me one. Okay? It's very, very impressive. It does, however, have certain issues to it. After I got the sword in the hand, the wrist is very weak. Like I was noticing problems like where now it's starting to kind of work with me, but like when I got the sword in the hand, it kind of limp-wristed really hard. I went online and I tried to look around and I couldn't find an answer except for a couple of other people that were asking the same question as me. How do we put the belt on? There's no open thing for the belt, which makes me feel like I'm supposed to maybe heat her up and pop the waist joint. I feel very, very uncomfortable doing that with a $250 figure. At $250, I will complain about minor things. Okay? So let's just be out in the open about that in general. And one thing that I have to say is that the snake armor was good. I did try the snake armor out. The cool thing about the snake armor is you just kind of push it onto her face and it sticks. And once her face is in here, it molds perfectly to the face and it works absolutely fantastically. It did work very, very well. The scepter goes into her hand very easily, absolutely no problem with that, and it looked really cool having her kind of have the snake armor and this, but let's be honest, at least for me, if I'm going to do snake armor and I'm going to do this, she needs to be green. That's just the way that I am. I've never been the person that sees her as the regular Teela wearing the snake armor. I've never thought that was a great look for her, and I've always understood, at least by the mini comics and everything, the way that I read them, the way that I felt about them, Teela is a sword, a shield, a spear. That's what she is. She's not a scepter type of sorceress character, because the idea, as far as I am aware, as far as the way that I've interpreted all of this, the original idea is that she would be two characters. They sold you one toy, put the armor on her, she's the sorceress. Take the armor off of him, she's the warrior goddess. Well, for me, Xena, Red Sonja, huge fan of that kind of concept. Warrior goddesses for me. This armor will probably never be used, but for anybody that has any interest in it, this worked very, very well. No problem at all. The spear, once I got that into her hand, no problem at all, and it's very tall. Both of these items are the kind of tall that I want them to be. They match the character perfectly. They're the perfect height to literally touch the ground and even sit a little bit above her head. That is exactly what a spear-esque thing should do. If you're going to sell me a staff or bow staff or spear or something of that nature, it better be taller than the character you are selling me. That's an absolute rule of thumb for me. It has to be that way. That worked out very well. I talked about the sword. The sword scares me a little bit. I have not put this thing on her because at $250, I'm very squeamish about just popping her joint, putting this on, and then figuring out that she's like a Play Arts Kai and she doesn't go back together very well, because that's happened to me with Lightning on the Play Arts Kai group of characters, which, if you've ever done any of my hangouts, I feel that Play Arts Kai is extremely overrated. I'm sorry if that's a line that you're very much into. I think it's overpriced for what you get. For what it's worth, I had no problem with the heads. You pop the head off, you pop the heads on. I had no problem whatsoever doing that. It happened very easily. But in terms of her, I don't want her scowling at me on the shelf, and I am not a 2000X guy. This is a fantastic head sculpt. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. And 2000X is a good series. But for me, what I want staring back at me on the desk is the Teela, the original series Teela, and that's what I got here, and that makes me very happy. So that's how she's going to be on my shelf. I want her with the shield, I want her with the sword. That's my Teela, and she's absolutely fantastic. She is. This is a level of detail that you do not get from other figures. Absolutely, you do not get this level of detail. It does not happen. 1/6 is where they put a ridiculous amount of detail into the sculpt, into the face, into the body. It's very impressive. Not that you can't get this level of detail on certain other figures, because we've talked about things like Taki. That's very impressive, but that's also over $100. You want that kind of quality, you're paying for that kind of quality. And when you do see it on smaller figures like Power Princess, it is awe-inspiring, okay? But normally, you have to pay for it. Now, all these things that I've said, I love the fact that I'm adding her to my shelf. I love the fact that she will sit on my desk. I love the fact that she will be up there in plain view all the time. She is an absolute masterpiece of a figure, and I'm not sad for having bought her. But as my first real experience in a 1/6 line, except for, say, maybe Star Trek figures, she does not sell me on the idea of me jumping into this line and spending hundreds of dollars in the 1/6 scale. I'm very much happy having her be a type of one-off. And maybe if they release an Evelyn and it really catches my attention, if I see a Skeletor and I happen to have the money, if they re-release He-Man and I happen to have the money, I would be happy to add those to her. But for right now, I have one, and I don't plan to dive very far beyond that point. This is what I wanted, and I got it. I wanted Teela. I wanted a large Teela on the shelf. Unbelievable detail. It's exactly what I got. It's exactly what I paid for. But in final words, this does not make me a 1/6 collector. I have little to no interest whatsoever in buying more giant figures. I make my home somewhere around the 6 and 7-inch scales. That's what I like. It's just, I like the 1/12 area. That's where I'm comfortable. I can get a lot of them on the shelf. and most all of them tend to look really good, and I'm fine with that, and it makes for me to be able to buy a lot more and do a lot more pictures and things that I want to do. So those are my thoughts. I have added Mondo Teela to my desk, and I'm actually very happy with it. I won't be buying any more, I don't think. But that doesn't say that it's any kind of bad. It just says that if you are not a 1/6 collector, I don't think she'll make you one. But I could be wrong. Alright guys, I'm gonna get out of here.